Okay, so a good intro follows this kind of structure. Again, as we know, I'm hesitant about saying structure because I don't want it to be blocky, but a good intro does these couple of things. Firstly, your thesis is your first sentence, okay? That we can be sure about. It's only one sentence, remember. So you need to provide a clear thesis that's a response to the question, and is that through line. You need to introduce your text, so you need to say who your composer is, what your text is, so the form of it. Is it a novel? Is it a play? Whatever. Not to be confused with the macro techniques, okay? Form can also mean, is it a novel, play, film, whatever. The date that the text was published, its key contextual factors, so you can go off and talk about them in greater depth later on in your individual arguments. Also, only talk about the contextual factors that relate to your text, your arguments. For example, if all my arguments had to do with femininity, but my text also spoke about World War II, but all my arguments are only talking about femininity, it wouldn't make sense to introduce that the text was, or speak about how the text emerged after World War II and was inspired by World War II, okay? Has nothing to do with my argument. Only talk about context where it's relevant to your argument. You also want to signpost your paragraphs, and you also want to provide a synthesis statement with audience impact. Okay, so this is a sample introduction that talks about, or that basically does all these things, okay? We're not going to read it, but let's have a look at the question and the general elements that it follows from here. So the connections between texts create an ongoing cultural conversation that gives insight into truth. In your response, discuss how your pair of prescribed texts, so this is for Module A for English Advanced students in Year 12, they look at two texts together and compare them. Discuss how your pair of prescribed texts engage in this conversation to shape audience's perspective. So we have the thesis, okay? Then we have the elaboration of the thesis. Then we're introducing the text and the context of the text. More context of, as I said, Sylvia Plath, and then the other text that you'll look at if you do Sylvia Plath is Ted Hughes, and more context. And then audience effect, okay? You can see audiences may observe the multiplicity. There we see audience effect, okay?